one, Guzzlers. I've just been away. In fact, I've been away sort of around in parts of Asia. And one of the places I've been was Thailand. And I thought, I have cooked some Thai dishes. As you well know, you better do. You better been watching them. But this is one I haven't made before. I didn't actually have this when we was in Thailand. In fact, I can't remember if I actually had, also did. But actually, the Thai meal I had was actually in Singapore. But anyway, we're going to make some fish cakes. We're going to make Thai fish cakes, Tod Mon Pla. Well, that's what it reads like, Tod Mon Pla. So, you're going to want some white fish, which I've got there, about 500 grams. Some long green beans like these. Okay, about 120 odd grams. A chilli or two, it's up to you. This is quite a big chilli, so I'm just going to use one. Some coriander. Some oil to fry it in. Some rice wine vinegar, or vinegar, it's up to you what you want. Some fish sauce, some peanuts, some cucumber, some sugar. Did I say me red curry paste? Now, I'm using my Korean one because I don't see the point of buying a different paste just to make a more authentic Thai one. So I'm going to use that up. A bit of salt, pepper. I think that's it. So I tell you. Now, we're going to make it with like a dipping sauce. And for that, you're going to want some peanuts. Now, these are salted peanuts. So as a result, I won't be using any salt in my dressing. If you've got unsalted peanuts, you might want to add a bit of salt. Because I'm feeling lazy, I'm going to put them in my blender, and I don't want to turn them into bloody peanut and butter. I just want to sort of chop them up quite finely. So I'm going to do that, and you want to end up with about anything from 1/3 to 1/2 cup of crushed peanuts. I've transferred my peanuts into that bowl, but I'm gonna put me near in a minute. But before I do that, I want to get some sugar, and I want to add 120 grams, approximately, sugar. I think a lot of sugar. Bloody lot of sugar, but a ton of sugar. Not sure I want all that in there. Does seem an awful lot of sugar. I'm going to go with 70. And then I'm going to chuck my peanuts in there. Put that to one side. Don't really need that anymore. Let's get that out of the way. I have to reorganise my kitchen, Jim. I'm very tail. Two reasons. One, I decided my air fryer took up too much room there, so my air fryer's outside behind there. But the other one is because the kitchen had a deep clean while I was on holiday, and unfortunately everything got stripped away, everything got put back, but it didn't get put back where it started from. So I've had to have a bit of a sort out and a bit of a change. I decided to have a bit of change around. I'm hoping I'll create myself a bit more space, but I haven't really. Anyway, that aside. What am I doing next? Oh, I want that back here. So, I've got my peanuts in there, I've got my sugar in there. Next thing I want is some white wine vinegar, or rice wine vinegar. I've only got white wine vinegar. And we want 120 mils of that. There it is. So, I'm going to chuck 120 mils in there, which is basically, we're going to have 60 mils of that, two of them. I'm sure these quantities don't look right to me. So 120 mils of that. In that goes. Right, let me get rid of my bottles, have another swig about, and then we'll carry on with that. Right, so now I've got generous, I said generous, handful of fresh coriander, and I'm just going to chop all that up quite fine, and then that's going to go in that dipping sauce mix. And then the other thing we want to chop, I'm doing all my chopping on my board now because I'm going to have to be cutting my fish up in a bit, and so rather than contaminate all my board and get it all wet when I clean it and everything, I thought it's best if I did my dipping sauce first, but also to give a chance for everything to sort of stew a bit in it. So that's going to go in there. Just going to mix that all in together. So this is quite a recipe I'm following. I sort of picked up online for this dipping sauce, and I have to say it looked a lot more liquid than this does. Right, so anyway, put that to one side. Now with your chilli, depending on how you like your heat, if you don't like it too hot, then you want to strip out the membrane, because I didn't realise apparently that sort of whitish membrane inside accounts for a lot of the heat, if you like. So if you don't want too much heat, you strip that out, strip the seeds out. That little grass is not coming out. And then all you want to do with this is you want to mix this up finely as well, and then chuck that in that mix, and then that is pretty much the dipping sauce done. Right, so that's that minced up, so I'm just going to chuck that in there, and then we're going to give it a little taste and see what it's like. Now, before you get thinking to yourself, we haven't had to listen to him giving us a loud bloody lecture about something or other. Don't worry, that's coming. In fact, it's coming right now. Thailand, up to 1939, is that right, 1939? Pardon me, used to be known as Siam, King of Siam. King and I, but Thailand, well, the King of Thailand, but as it was known then, Siam. Let me have a quick little taste. Crunchy, sweet and sour, a lot of heat in that. Ooh. I think that will do. So, like I say, King of Siam. Southeast Asia, if you don't know where it is, on the Indo-Chinese peninsula. Oh, leave that after that. By the way, we just had Valentine's Day. My beloved bought me personalised beer from Sussex, which is near here. Well, the next county over. Hogsback. Very nice. With this dish, by the way, you're probably on wine. That's chilling. I didn't want to drink it all before we made the bleeding. So, oh, I'm done. Oh, I finished with dipping sauce. Right, take half a cucumberish, and we're going to chop that up. Too busy trying to tell you about Thailand, wasn't I? Do you know Thailand has never ever been colonised by a Western power. Can't say that about the other Asian countries. So what I'm doing with the cucumber, if you're one of them people who don't like the peel, you can always peel it, is I'm just cutting it up sort of into small little dicing it. Couldn't think of the word. So Thailand did an awful lot of temple visiting when we was abroad. We did Vietnam as well, Singapore, Hong Kong. It was mainly Vietnam and Thailand, but we visited an awful lot of temples, which I'm not complaining about. Thailand, most of them were all Buddhist, because Buddhism is the main religion of Thailand. Something like almost 95% of the population, well, there's only about 5% of the population claim not to have a religion, and of the ones that do, 95% of that lot are Buddhist. So they take Buddhism very seriously. So obviously there's quite a lot of temples to do with Buddhism. Anyway, that's the cucumber in there, and that, it's a bit of a chunky dipping sauce as such. But that is the dipping sauce now done. So I'm just going to put that to one side, and then just got a little bit more chopping to do with my green beans before I can start doing my fish. But the green beans are going in the fish mix. Okay, what else is going in there? Oh, and you want some, I forgot that, you want some kaffir lime leaves. I've only got the dried ones. If you're using fresh ones, you're just going to sort of chop up a little bit. These I might have to crush a bit because they're a bit dry. So with the green beans, I'm just topping and tailing them. And then you're going to want to cut them up. Basically, we're slicing it, but you want the slices to be about as wide as they are thick, so quite thin. Now I've done all these beans, or I'm going to do all these beans here. You might find we don't use them all. I'll wait and see how much bulk of fish paste I've got. So like I say, we're cutting these quite fine, and I'm just going to chuck them in a bowl for now. I think just had the wife just emerged from the wharf. You definitely heard the wife out there. She'll be in here wanting a drink in a minute. Even though actually it's Sunday night tonight. Oh, left my glasses on. That's why I can see what I'm doing. Sunday night tonight. We was at a concert last night, so I couldn't do my normal Saturday cook. But I don't work Mondays. So this is my Saturday, not hers. Right, so like I say, I'm just going to chop them up, transfer them to that bowl, and then we can get on the next bit. Right, so that's the beans done, and so now what I'm going to do is take some of these curry leaves, and I want to get the stalks out. We don't want that bits in there. And then I'm just going to crush up the rest of the leaves in there. Like I was saying, if you were using fresh curry leaves, I wouldn't worry about crushing them, but you still want to get the stalks out. These are, oops, that stalk's trying to get in there. These are getting a bit old. So if you were using fresh ones, you'd probably want about 2 or 3 to get the right flavour. Might have to crush them a bit more, because these aren't actually going to go, so the fish is going to get blended up. We want to make like a fish paste, as it were. But we don't really want to blitz all this bit, because otherwise that's gone on the floor. That'll just turn that into, well, like a bean paste, which we don't really want. Right, for this you're going to want some plain sort of white fish, skinless. Okay, about 500 grams, and I'm just drying it off, oops, on some kitchen towel, and we're going to put it in the blender. Now I could get my food processor out, but to be honest, it's a bit fat getting it all out, so I'm going to do this sort of a bit at a time, if you like. And what you want to do is blend this down into, like I say, like a paste. Okay, and then I'm obviously going to have to keep transferring it into a bowl, different bowl to where my dipping sauce is. This would be like a bigger mixing bowl, ready for doing our frying. Now, just to make sure it is all blending up. Whether it might have been better in a food processor, who knows. Apparently, depending on where you get your fish from, sometimes this can go quite runny apparently. You don't want it too runny. But anyway, I'm just going to finish that last batch off and chuck it in that bowl. And then we'll be ready to start mixing and start frying. Right, so there's all our fish. So now what I want to do is add about, actually I've got a little bit more than 500 grams in here. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons approximately of fish sauce, and then I'm going to chuck in those beans and lime leaves. And we're just going to mix that together a little bit, and then we're going to be wanting to add our curry paste. Like I said, this is the Korean red curry or red bean curry paste or whatever. How much have we added in this? About 2 to 4 tablespoons. We're going to add. So what I might do is, there's not an awful lot left in here. I might just empty that out and get it out of here. Thai dishes, people have heard of things like pad Thai and stuff like that. Pad Thai is one of those listed on the top 50 sort of meals, if you like. And as it happens, Thailand is quite unique in the sheer number of dishes that are on that top 50 list. I think it said 7 Thai dishes are in the list of top 50 dishes, and in fact in the top desserts of the world. I might need a bigger spatula to do this bit, because I've now got to try and get this all fully mixed together. Now, like I said, you could have put this in the, and actually thinking about it, perhaps what I should have done was put the curry paste in the processor with the, which I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch to something that's a little bit more substantial for mixing that. Yeah, I could have put the curry paste in with the fish paste, fish when I was blitzing it. That would help mix that in. But I need to make sure that that paste is all thoroughly mixed through, because at the moment there's lumps of it. But anyway, sorry, I digress. I was saying about desserts. There are 2 desserts in the top 50 desserts in the world. Again, I don't know if there's any other country that's got that many in it. But one of them is the mango sticky rice, which I didn't realise was a particular speciality. And when we was in Thailand, they kept saying about, when we went around the floating markets and things like that, oh, you know, have you tried the mango sticky rice yet? If not, good chance to try mango sticky rice. But we didn't, partly because you do get a bit wary about street food in a certain country, you know, going abroad and thinking, oh, is it going to upset me? Ooh, and the other thing we did see was like fried crickets and other beetles and things. Apparently, Thailand is quite high up on the list of, well, I think it might be the top of countries that use insect protein. You know, I think the fried insects are quite a delicacy. Well, I've got about a 1/4 inch, possibly about a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of oil in your pan, and we want to put that on the heat. I want to heat that up to about 160. Ooh, the battery's gone. I won't be doing that then. I'll have to guess. That didn't last all, that battery. I've got a plate here ready to drain off And what we'll do is, as we sort of fry them, we'll put them in, flip them over, fry both sides, and when we're happy they're out, we'll take them out. So when they're done, we'll take them out, put them on that paper to drain. Oh, I need a drink. Right, there's my dipping sauce. Turn that thing off. So I just need to get the oil up to temperature, ready for frying. And then what we'll do is we're just basically using a couple of spoons, make some sort of fish cakes like that. But before we actually get as far as that, what we'll do is we'll just take a small portion and we'll just fry it and taste it. See whether we need to add any salt. Better get some wine to take the edge off it. So I'm just going to take that little bit there. You can hear that sizzle. And so we're just going to lightly cook that off. And then we'll have a little taste. And just see if it needs any seasoning. Like I said, we have added fish sauce. But in the dipping sauce, there's already salt. So you might decide you still want some salt in there, but oops, falling apart. Don't think I've quite given that long enough. But you may or may not want to add some salt. Now we're just going to have these as fish cakes with that sauce. You can have them hot or cold, these fish cakes. Obviously you'll cook them, then you can have them cold. This should make apparently about 16, but we'll wait and see. There's quite a nice crisp fruity wine. You want something that can cut through obviously the heat and everything else with that. Interestingly, on the cruise we was on, normally you get a bottle of wine on the cruise and it's like, you can all have to look at that label. I might see if I can get that at home, though I probably won't afford it. And then you get home, oops, break that, and then you discover that like this 30 quid bottle of wine is like 8 quid in Tesco. So the wife had discovered one on this current cruise we did as we were going down the coast of Vietnam, Vietnam. And she found this wine, thought, oh, I like this, I'll have to remember what this is. So the other day when she popped into Tesco's, or it might have been when she was doing our Tesco order online, she decided to check it out. Oh, 20 quid a bottle. Bargain on the cruise. Not this one, by the way, she didn't buy it. Right, let's have a little taste. I'm not sure it's actually crispy enough yet, but there's a sweetness to it. I don't quite know where that's come from. It's fishy. Very, very nice. Right, so and now the heat comes from. What we're now going to do, like I say, we're just almost like doing a quenelle. Just trying to get the loose bits off. Oops, dropping it. That one falling apart. That's why perhaps if you could make the fish sauce, fish paste a little bit wetter. There's a lump of fish there. And the other thing to bear in mind is that as you're putting them in there, like anything when you deep fry in a such, you don't put too much in at once. You want to give it time for the oil to stay at temperature. Right, while they're frying off the last ones, so this is one that I cooked quite near the beginning. And overdone that one, but let's just taste it first off without the sauce. Very fishy. as you expect. Salty a bit. I'm not sure if you're only getting anything from the lime leaves, but that might just be because our wild lime is getting heat through now. Let's try a little bit with that sauce. Get the sweetness, the sourness, the heat, the crunch. Perfect. So there you are. Todd Mum Thai fish cakes. Look at that. What's it on? Well worth making.